while you're going to not necessarily be in hook range at all times because the minions will be blocking that hook, you're probably going to be in step duo. Infernal Drake, the perfect first spawn for VSG versus Rift Herald in the lane, and then forcing KT to defend that before they get into a position. Is that another smite steal? Okay, that does mean he's smited. Ryan's next smite is up in 10 seconds. KT might just try to rush this.
Yep, they're going to try to, and Smeb, he's already teleported down, so they are on the clock. Score looking for it, flash immediately. Crystal Arrow lands onto Smeb. Zenit's already used his pull. It's a great pulverize. Ryan is eliminated. First blood goes to PDD. It's now Saw. I don't think Aftershock's going to help you, but the Devour is going to be there. No mana left, and KT a 1 for 0.
They turn onto the enemy jungle. They take him down, but they don't have health bars to actually get the Infernal Atlas, so it's only a kill. Only first blood. So far, no more. And Ruby even gets the push in mid, so a good turn from KT. They couldn't burn the Infernal fast enough.
5 members of KT are converging on this Dragon Pit. VSG understand this. Rift Herald is going to be summoned towards the top side of the map.
It'll take a while, though.
And Shelly will be by herself, so they're going to try and get through the minion wave. It is going to be an Infernal going over to KT. They even that score line out.
When it even areas, the AoE from KT should put them in the death chamber. So because of that, VSG need to pull the trigger and pull it well. If they don't focus fire, I think KT wins almost every time.
Oh, you can see how much Snowflower just wanted to dive into the middle of that VSG squad. And they do manage to take down the Cloud Drake. Not exactly the most high priority is, okay, Arrow flies in once again, hits Snap, but you can see Saw already taking a lot of damage. Unbreakable Will is going to be there, so the Snowflower doesn't go down, and Zenit dives into the backline. Hemoplague does a bunch of work, and Score picks up the first kill of the fight. Once again, KT successful. 2-0 is the scoreline. They may be able to take more as Ruby down to half health. Saw basically has nothing. VSG, can they defend? The answer looks to be yes as they deal with the minion wave, but the backs are being stopped, and Smeb has
the most difficult one to do, but they're going to do it out.
And just didn't have the ultimate available. That was a huge one there for VSG, who will now push in to try and take down this outer turret. Remember, KT weren't able to get the one of VSG is Saw. This is the dredge line, but they are still able to take down the outer turret.
That's allies damage. So because of that, VSG have to be so careful about how they approach. They cannot take an honest front-to-back 5v5 right now. They're going to try anyway.
Yep, Dredgeline's going to come in. Snowflower actually flashing into the back line. Gets the headbutt onto Saw, but he does have a stopwatch. Keeps himself alive. Snowflower does the same. Ruby self-pulse. There's not a lot of targets here as Pure is the one getting targeted down, and they lose to Lysandra after she comes out of the stasis. Zenit trying to get the work down, and you betcha bottom dollar he's going to. It's a double kill for the Jason. Saw is going to follow. Score picks up the kill. That's going to be the ace, and I believe that's all she wrote for this game, Papa Smithy.
It's a perfect ace in exactly the scenario and timing that KT were looking for. KT babied through the early game. It was looking a little bit rough when they lost to Rift Herald, but since then, VSG, like many Challengers teams before them, have made some mistakes in execution, and a closeout Baron and Infernal duo of objectives should be all she wrote, like you say, for KT.
Yeah, KT, they understood where their window was, and it was sometime up. Veritas gets chunked, and now KT have an inroad towards this inhibitor turret. You mentioned Siege. If the Jace is able to get consistent poke down like this, it feels like a Siege comp, Papa Smithy, even though it does have those flaws that you mentioned.
Double Infernal and Baron that you just couldn't have plugged and played with how the game.
This is a big statement from KT, because you mentioned the fact that the Sonataric would have been so strong, but then VSG say, well, we lost to Sonataric, that could be a problem. Here's the team fight, though, speaking of problems, and the Vladimir immediately gets taken down. It's a good pulverize in the back line. Is there's the sweep, the dunk from BDD. You got rid of one threat, but there's still two left. Triple kill for the Jace. One of them comes in, and it's a full house. Jesus, full of his ears.
And there's the for it. We said this is the item timing. Well, he can make it. BDD says thank you very much, and KT win game number 1.
Yep, it's beautiful. They got rid of one of the threats, Popper, and I thought, oh, this could be the chance for VSG. But KT have so many more. Nexus is going to go down. KT with a statement game 1. No Sonatarics required. We're going to get bodied in the laning phase and smash you in the team fight.
And all they had to do was...
There are a lot of different options here.
So this is not a KO for lane, much more a KO for comp. KO is strong against some comps and weak against others. People just look at her as a level 16 win condition, and I think that's actually not the nuance of the pick. The ultimate negates burst. That's what it's best used for, and VSG have a pick comp, and if you can negate the Varus chain into the attempt to blow up one member with the KO ult, and then KO can just outrange and auto-attack away. That's a really good use of KO. So while the laning phase is going to be one where KO is going to have to take poke trades with Klepto or be on the defensive, it does scale very, very well against VSG's comp.
So far.
All right, now here comes your boy Olaf.
Yeah, gonna get the mark of the storm. Flash immediately does come out. Good stun comes in, and Smeb should be falling. Takes a little while, but Mighty Bear does walk away and isn't killed by the turret.
No surprise, Olaf upside. Getting half burst backs where you die and by a Sapphire Crystal and also a Dark Seal. Getting Sheen here, the amount of time...
Tournament after being the champions. I mean, remember, oftentimes it was SKT who were the champions, then teams like Kingzone that showed so much dominance. Gaming, of course, being the name that they managed to get one on.
Happy that they're taking the very early introduction to the Rift Herald. KT picked up that second Cloud Drake. There's more and more gold, not going to Moon Minute. Remember that. Moon Minute are going to be delayed on their item timings, and while it's not a huge CS lead, it's still a lead for the Xayah and Galio and Varus and Tahm Kench. Being ripped apart left, right, and center. Here's 4 members trying to dunk him.
Make that 5 as the teleports come in. Great double knock-up once again, but the Devour Flash will get the Varus out of the way. The Claw comes in. There's the ultimate, and oh, Zenit had the ult on top of him as well, coming in from the Kayle, but it's not quite enough. The Ignite comes down, but it is going to be a positive trade here for VSG. Oh, I take it all back. 2 for 2 here between the two teams under the turret. And the first dive was clean.
Pretty awful, given the scenario.
Yeah, it's just huge here for VSG. See, the coach is pretty excited about it a lot more, right?
A lot of on-hit Kayle has returned.
Oh, wow, okay.
With Witsend, Nashor's Rage Blade kind of builds. There's been a lot less of this AD build, but in pro play, it is usually the build because the Sheen burst feels so good and it builds naturally from there. Small visual bug with the charge coming in. That's a gold charge.
Confusing stuff coming in here, but there's the flash out. The Ragnarok used. Rem is going to be able to pick up the aggro. Smeb's in position, goes golden. That's the second ult. BDD helps lock down the kill for the Kayle. And now Snowflower turns up. Mighty Bear gets Cataclysm. That's a great devour from Minute. Mighty Bear will be able to walk out. It is Score falling down. Snowflower so close as BDD's stunned. Dives on top of Rurus now as Smeb is still there with the DPS, and Zenit will turn up. BDD flashes, picks up 1. Zenit's in there with the ultimate. Moo is going to be dead. Double kill for the Xayah, and Minute is going to follow. BDD just wanted to utilize a Kayle ultimate for some reason, and KT will be out around by KT. Yeah, and I think that exhaust was supposed to go on BDD as well.
The Ocean Drake in just map control, not being on the Olaf side, is pretty consequential. While the names have changed, the way we judge the comps haven't changed that much from game number 1 to game number 2. It's because the pieces on VSG are best piloted aggressively. Speaking of aggression, you're going to see a turret dive soon.
Yep, Smeb's going to get ulted. Does still have that Divine Judgment available. There's the Abyssal Voyage, but no Justice Punch is going to land there from Snowflower. Score goes golden, but he's surrounded by 5 members, and Moo is going to grab that kill comfortably. BDD with a full health bar, but doesn't find the Shuriken backflip. And that is just one easy pick there and score it overextended.
The execution was really poor from KT. Snowflower missed a taunt flash on Rem, who wasn't moving on Lissandra. Seemed half-hearted at best. I understand it's not flashing because it's Lissandra, but he flashed and missed, so that's not what you want to see. Then he's going to clean up a mid-lane turret. The point we wanted to get on the flank here, and he's pretty big, as we know.
Yep, he's going to get that Shroud down. Devour comes in, but Minute, will he be able to actually get Moo to safety? Backline, though. Slicing Maelstrom is massive, and KT's health bars are falling low. Flash out from Zenit, and he's removed from the fight by Rem. Now Snowflower has the ultimate on top of him. It's a good taunt as BDD. A lot of damage, and Smeb as well at half health, just able to get so much consistent DPS. BDD falls down, but Smeb picks up the pieces, and VSG run for the hills.
KT trying to make it difficult for themselves, even with some great tools against VSG's comp, yet they still get over the line. They still keep up with the Mountain Drake. It's weird, it's wonderful, it's relegations, but KT, they stay a step ahead.
Nothing done, and now BDD dives in. Shroud goes down, that's going to be the ultimate use, Divine Judgment. The flank comes in from the back as Rurus gets damage onto 2 with the Slicing Maelstrom, but no one's going to die. Heroic Entrance comes forward. It does have to be a stopwatch used by REM, but he has to get devoured afterwards and isn't able to get damage in there. KT, they're softened up, and no one has fallen apart from Moo early in the fight.
We're talking about VSG getting back into the series.
Yep, Mighty Bear taking
here it is.
Damage. Rurish flashes forward. The ultimates do come out, though. Smeb keeps himself alive. Zenit survives in the backline, and Rurus is going to be the first target. Smeb gets rid of him after the Zhonya's 2 kills. Immediately erupt as there's no more solo lanes for VSG and KT. They tidy up the team fight from before. They get a double kill for the Kale, and they will have the Baron.
They get double backline access, but no one dies, Atlas. They need a numbers advantage to keep fighting to allow Moo to have the space to hit. Unfortunately, Moo can't put out any damage in that fight, and KT say thank you very much. We delete Baron.
Yeah, and that was a beautiful pivot from what was the earlier disastrous dive. This time, it was Featherstorm utilized by minions. And KT, it should be a matter of course when it comes to taking this one down. BDD looking for yet another flank on this Akali. Azir into the Akali's going through the alphabet. Things are looking good no matter which letter he's up to. Okay, there's a double taunt. Riris does have Slash Maelstrom as BDD goes low, but Score dives into the backline. Riris will fall. Smeb grabs the first kill. The flash forward from Zenith. Oh my goodness, the engaged Xayah for the double kill, and Rem's going to follow. KT having a party under Nexus turrets, and it looks like a fun one if you're a KT Rolster fan. A 2-0 and only one more game in order to get them back towards the